Welcome to today's webinar on Introduction to Augmented Reality. And we are very thrilled to have you here as we explore augmented reality, exploring its history, innovation, skill, and career opportunities. And our esteemed guest speaker today is Joanna Samuel, a highly experienced animator and video artist. Joanna holds an MSc in computer animation and has worked extensively in the industry, including over 5 years at Pixel Circus Limited in the UK. Currently, she is a senior lecturer in digital media at Canterbury Christchurch University. She's also pursuing a PhD focused on augmented reality and interactivity in gallery settings. So that is our guest. So please join me in welcoming Joanna Samuel. Welcome, Joanna.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So Joanna, first, before we begin all these seminars, we kind of go through one of our, montage videos of ASOMSoft, Ahalia School of Media Studies and Future Technologies. Yeah. So it's just like a 3-minute video on ASOMSoft. So I'll just play that, and then it's over to you. Yeah, I'll just play that video, and then rest is yours. Okay.
Excellent, thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you, John. Okay, so we will just go through our montage video on ASOMSoft, and then we will go straight into this session. Okay, thank you.
What makes us create? What drives us to tell stories? Why is there an irresistible urge to express? At Ahalia School of Media Studies and Future Technologies, we are passionate about crafting stories that are uniquely yours, transforming imagination into lasting impact. Our mission is to turn your imagination into a powerful narrative, fueling inspiration and innovation.
ടെക്നോളജിയും ആർട്ടും ഒരുമിച്ച് ചേരുന്ന സിനിമ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന മേഖലയിൽ ഒരു സ്കിൽ ഡെവലപ്മെൻറ്റ് ഡിഗ്രി പ്രോഗ്രാംസ് ആണ് നമ്മൾ പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. സിനിമ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു ലാംഗ്വേജ് ആണെന്ന് കണ്ടുകൊണ്ട് അവരവർ സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഈ കോഴ്സുകളിലെ ഏറ്റവും അത്യന്താധുനികമായിട്ടുള്ള ഉപകരണങ്ങൾ ഉപയോഗിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് നിരന്തരമായി പ്രാക്ടീസിലൂടെ ക്രാഫ്റ്റ് ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്ന കോഴ്സാണ് ഇവിടെ ഡിസൈൻ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്.
Introducing ASOMSoft, where innovation meets education in one of the largest green campuses in the country.
ASOMSoft is like an answer to a lot of questions. We have a lot of things running around, like generative AI, the green screens, and the LEDs and all these things. At ASOMSoft, what we are precisely trying to do is like make all these things into a creative process.
I feel that in a film institute, the most important factor is the faculty. So we have handpicked the faculty. So we got the best of talents from South India to teach here at ASOMSoft. So we are actually making a platform such that the industry people can come and interact with the students and have a chat with them, and the students can learn a lot from them.
Explore our cutting-edge Bachelor of Visual Arts programs approved by MSU in virtual production, AI media arts and practice, VFX, extended reality and animation. Enhance your craft with our diploma and certification courses in screenwriting and screen acting. Join us on a journey where every creation is a statement, every story a legacy. Welcome to ASOMSoft. We are here.
Yeah, that's it, Joe. And now it's over to you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Thank you.
First of all, thank you for having me today. I'm really looking forward to talking to you about augmented reality. I'm just going to share my screen. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. I've decided not to show it as a slideshow because otherwise I can't see your beautiful faces, or if anyone's got any questions, I won't be able to see your hands up. So I am just going to show like this. I hope that's okay. I hope it's large enough for everybody. So let's get started. So as Vimal said, I am an interactive artist. I'm an animator. I'm a senior lecturer. I've got lots of different hats. I come from Canterbury. I work at Canterbury Christchurch University, teaching digital media and animation. And one thing that I do teach is augmented reality. So that's why I am talking to you today about that. I've got a few examples here of some of my work. I love doing exhibitions, gallery exhibitions, solo exhibitions. I started off doing video installation art pieces, like big scale kind of videos, and over the last kind of 10 years I've moved more to kind of interactivity. I love playing around with motion sensors which turn on animations, and also augmented reality, and some of these images here are from my latest exhibition, which was in May last year, which was mostly augmented reality. There's a few videos using metahumans, but yeah, that's kind of, I love playing with augmented reality. So let's talk a little bit about it. So this is what we're going to be covering this afternoon or this evening. So we're going to have a quick look about what is augmented reality, and then I'm going to do a very quick dive into a brief history of augmented reality before we look at the types of AR. So there's 3 different types that we will explore a little bit, and I'll show you some examples. And then we'll have a little look about what skills and what academic foundation you need to succeed in a career in augmented reality. And if we have time, I'm going to show you some of the entry-level apps that I use in my teaching to kind of get students started with augmented reality. And then we'll have a look at some of the careers which you might be kind of looking going into, and then at the end we'll have some questions if you have any. So first of all, I don't know how easy this is going to be for any of you, but I thought I'd try it out anyway. So this is a flyer that I had from my exhibition in 2016, and you can see there's a QR code on there. So I'm not sure if anyone is just on their device and they haven't got another device to kind of scan, but if you do, I'm just going to waffle for a couple of minutes. If you want to get your phones out and use your camera to open up the QR codes, I'll talk you through it as well at the same time. So the QR code, if your camera recognizes it, so you open up the Zapper, you launch Zapper, and then you just need to grant access for the camera and the motion of your camera. And then if you point your camera at the flyer on the screen, then you should be able to see a cheeky little animation that I did to a little 3D squirrel kind of running around the forest. Hopefully some of you can see that, but that's a little bit of fun that I did when I was marketing my exhibition for, what was it, 2016. Okay, excellent. So moving on. So that's kind of a simple example of what you could do with AR.
Yeah, I can see that squirrel.
Excellent. Yay, it worked. Perfect. Okay, so that is an example of AR. Obviously, I'm guessing most of you do know what AR is, but as it's an introductory kind of session, I will go through the very basics. It's a technology that overlays digital content. So it could overlay images, it could image sounds, animations, a combination of all three, 3D models, anything like that, onto the real world, enhancing the user's perception of their environment. Unlike VR, which is obviously it creates an entirely simulated environment, AR puts things into your actual real world. Again, a couple of examples here on the right-hand side of the screen from my recent exhibition of the lady at the top. She's using her mobile device to scan the code on the mirrors, and that opened up a Snapchat kind of experience where she could put a hat on, glasses, or change her appearance. And the one underneath, that poster, a bit like the squirrel that I just showed you, that launched a video which played if the device is pointed at the canvas. Moving on. In that previous example, everyone was using iPads, but you can use different technologies for AR, mobile devices, smartphones. Also, you've got AR glasses now, which are kind of coming to fruition quite nicely, and headsets as well. So when you use an AR-enabled device, it captures real-time data from the environment through cameras or sensors, and then superimposes digital elements, making it seem like those elements are part of the real world. So that's what AR is. So we're just going to jump I'm not going to go too much on the history, but just some of the kind of, to give you an idea of how long it has been coming to fruition. So here is kind of the first idea of augmented reality. Was in 1968 with Ivan Sutherland, and he created this contraption here that you can see on the right hand side. It was called Sword of Damocles, and the device is basically he's got some wireframe graphics superimposed onto the user's view. It looks like if you go to Specsavers or an optician, and kind of they're just putting stuff in front of the viewer. But that's kind of the very first time that augmented reality was kind of starting to be considered. And then jumping over to the 80s, Steve Mann is the pioneer in wearable computing. So he kind of laid the foundation for the kind of the Google goggles and the wearable devices that are around these days, which you can use for AR. Then jumping over to the 1990s. So augmented reality as a term was coined by Tom Caudle. And he was a Boeing researcher. Him and his partner were kind of working, obviously, with the aircrafts. And he coined the term augmented reality, where he used it to describe the system that helped workers assemble aircraft using digital overlays on physical components. Then jumping on to 2000, and this is the beginning of the AR toolkit, which is quite an important development. It was an open source library that made it easier to create AR apps. It allows developers to overlay 3D graphics on video feeds in real time. So then this significantly advanced AR development, and the AR toolkit is still a thing going now and helping developers. So that was a really kind of pinnacle kind of moment there. And of course, with the smartphones, as they've kind of developed over the years, it's been much more accessible for AR applications to be used by everybody with a smartphone. Some of the earliest outings, if you like, of augmented reality are shown here. So in 2005, the Nokia phone. I'm not sure if any of you would know what a Nokia phone is. At the time when it first came out, they were all kind of, they were like the iPhones of the day, I think. But they're no longer, unfortunately. But this was the AR tennis game, which was a 2-player game that allowed users to play virtual tennis in real time. But then you got the Wikitude in 2008, and this is more familiar. I'm saying it feels much more advanced. Moving on, it allowed users to view digital information overlaid on their surroundings through their phone's camera, which is kind of what you would be kind of more familiar with now, I would suggest. So some innovations in the 2010s. So the Google Glass, some of you may have heard of that. This kind of came about in 2012. It was an AR-enabled pair of glasses that displayed information directly into the user's field of view. So a big jump from the sword of Damascus that we saw earlier on. However, it wasn't really commercially successful. However, it did kind of make it more popular. Looking at the HoloLens, which is another kind of leap, and you may be more familiar with the HoloLens, released in 2016. So this is a mixed reality headset that blends AR and VR, enabling users to interact with 3D holograms in their environment, which is pretty cool. If you get a chance to have a go at that, that's I recommend that. And there's applications in education, engineering, and healthcare all use these. Going away from kind of the hardware, if you like, and looking at gaming briefly. Many of you may know Pokemon Go, and that originated in 2016 as well. And I know a lot of the teens and younger, actually, and older, are still playing Pokemon Go. It's very kind of much alive in the UK. Has anyone used Pokemon Go before? Have you experienced it? It's quite a fun game to kind of, slightly addictive game to kind of catch kind of the Pokemon and find them as you go around. But again, it was kind of the first. It was kind of groundbreaking. It demonstrated the potential for AR in gaming and entertainment as well. So more recently, you may be familiar with some of these. We will start from the right-hand side, actually, because they are the least expensive. These are the X-Real glasses, which are around about 300 or so pounds. They're lightweight glasses, which are a portable way to experience AR, making it more accessible. So they could be used for gaming, media consumption, and even virtual desktops, but I'm not sure how many people do use those. The ones which are more popular, I would suggest, at the moment, are the Meta's Quest Pro, which is a little bit more expensive, the X-Real, but they're not too much, maybe kind of £500–600. Meta obviously is linked to Facebook, focuses on productivity and enterprise applications. It supports full color pass through AR, allowing users to interact with both physical and digital environments simultaneously, which is a kind of a nice gaming experience, as well as other uses. And now the Apple Vision Pro, which has just been launched, and this is kind of the super duper expensive one of the three. You're looking about £3–4,000 for one of these, but it's just been launched. It's pretty awesome. I haven't had a chance to play around with it yet, but I think in Apple stores in the UK we can book to try them out. But if you look at the marketing for it, it does look pretty awesome. So it's kind of moving forward and making things more lightweight as well in terms of AR kind of hardware and wearable devices. Okay, so let's move on now to the types of augmented reality. So there are three kind of different ways that augmented reality occurs, if you like. So you've got the marker-based AR. That's also called image recognition AR. And so those are the like the examples that I showed you from my exhibition on the canvases and the postcard with the squirrel. You have a code which the camera on your phone picks up, or you could have a specific app which will pick up a specific code which will launch an experience. Then you've got markerless ARs. These are also location-based AR. So you're looking at things which are using GPS and other sensors on the mobile device for orientation and that sort of thing. So we'll explore a few examples of those in a moment. And then finally, you've got the projection-based AR. This is also called spatial augmented reality. And this is where digital light is projected onto physical surfaces. And again, I've got a couple of examples to show you in a moment. So going back to the marker-based AR. So if the squirrel one worked for you, this may also work for you. This is a post of one. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger as I'm not presenting, actually, to give you a better chance of it launching. This is work that one of my second year students did. When did she submit? It must have been in May. this year, and this is part of an interactive digital imaging module. And if you scan this, again, you have to just launch the Zapper. And then this gives you an experience which is like a photosphere at Canterbury, which is kind of my hometown, where I am, where we the university is where I work. Again, you need to click on yes to access the camera, and then hopefully, if you can see, you will see a photosphere of Canterbury, and it is an interactive experience. So if you kind of go around and having a look around, you'll see a little arrow. Yeah, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it on my camera, but there's an arrow there. If you click on there, then you'll see another photosphere of the high street of Canterbury in black and white. And then there's another arrow moving along to get towards the cathedral, which is obviously an iconic building in Canterbury. So that is an example of marker-based AR. You can use codes. There are other marker-based AR which doesn't use codes. So these are more image-based ones. So there was an app called Augment, which used to allow you to put an image onto the app, and then the app would recognize the image. And then if the app saw the image in someone's camera, then it would launch the experience without the QR code. The reason I use codes in most of my work at the moment is because it is quite temperamental, the image based one. So kind of getting it to recognize the image, it doesn't always work. Whereas the QR code is much more definable and it works a lot easier. So yeah, there's lots of different examples. I'm sure you've probably seen some around in interactive museum exhibits, for example, posters, AR books. Thinking of one, I went to an exhibition recently and they had a specific app for their exhibition, and they had codes which were unique to them. So it was kind of like the artwork scattered around. I think there was 18 little blocks. They were probably about that size, if you can see me as well. And if you scan on those, it would launch an animation. And as part of the exhibition, to keep young people engaged, if you collected all of them when you got to the end and you showed them the app that you'd captured them all, then you would get a small gift as a token of kind of working through. So that's another example of marker-based AR. So you can also have wearable AR. So this is a video. I'm not sure if you're going to hear it or not. It's only music anyway, so it doesn't matter so much if you can't hear it. Excellent. Perfect. So let me just do that there. So for that one, they put the image onto the t-shirt, and similar to before I said about the image-based ones, the app used for this will recognize the image straight away and it will launch that, which was the 3D model animation one. Okay, so you kind of get the idea of marker-based ones now, hopefully. So moving on to the markerless ones. Markerless can also be called location, but they're not all location-based, but generally all the location-based AR is markerless, if that makes sense. So it doesn't rely on physical markers. Instead, it uses the GPS on your phone and other sensors as well. To get your location and also the orientation in the real world, and then digital content is overlaid. So I've got a few examples here to show you. So the Pokemon Go obviously was the game. I haven't got example here because I'm assuming most of you would know that. Google Maps, where I've got a video to show you in a minute, And there's also another game called Clued Up, which is quite big here in the UK, which I will show you in a moment. So first of all, let's have a look at Google Maps. Do you have Google Maps? I don't know. But here in the UK, we have Google Maps, and this is it's launched an AR contingency to it over the last couple of years. So that's pretty cool. All the stuff that Google Maps is doing with AR. I absolutely love the where is it? When I use Google Maps, I absolutely love those bits which come out of me. I'm trying to find something that's really useful. So that's a really great example of markerless and location-based AR. Okay, this next video is of the Clued Up that I briefly mentioned before. So with this, it's like a murder mystery kind of game where, or not always a murder mystery, sometimes it's a puzzle, and you need to download the app to start with, and then you get a story that you have, it has a narrative where you have to go to specific parts of the town or city, wherever you're based, wherever the experience is, and it unlocks interviews with people or witness statements or little puzzles to get information to solve the riddle or whatever the experience is. So here's a little trailer to show you an example.
Let the game begin. Anything is possible.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, it doesn't show too much of the interface, but it's a really clever way of getting a group of people together and kind of going off to kind of solve all these things using the GPS AR. Slightly different, markerless, not so much location based, but it does rely on the camera and your orientation of the phone. Is the kind of examples of where you can slot 3D models into your own environment. So say you were going to like an online shop and it had a sofa and you wanted to see what it looked like in your front room, then you can use whichever kind of app that they are using to place it in the room to see if it works, to see what it looks like. This doesn't always work well, but here's an advert for it to show it in a little bit more detail here.
The age of guesswork is coming to an end. The Augment platform allows businesses to easily deploy mobile augmented reality solutions. Field sales reps simulate products in real size in their customer's environment and close deals more efficiently. Augment for field sales is easy to deploy. Designers and marketing teams simply need to upload and manage their 3D models online. New models automatically appear on the private Augment account of team members. Shoppers can now try products at home before buying or view them in 3D directly from the mobile apps and websites of retailers. Augment provides the largest e-commerce 3D product catalog for retailers and brands. It takes online sales conversions to a whole new level. So forget about building in-house AR solutions. Whatever your industry, the Augment platform provides everything you need to be successful with augmented reality.
So that's just one example. It's a company which does it. It's quite a big AR company, but it's a good example to kind of show. And I'm sure you've probably had similar chances of experiencing those kind of shopping kind of experiences where you can do that. Okay, so moving on to the projection-based AR, which I absolutely love, and I think this is the thing that I want to explore next. To be honest, I haven't done it personally myself, but it looks so much fun. So this is, you would project AR onto a physical surface rather than kind of a screen or anything else. And users interact with the projected images. And I've got a couple of examples here. So here's the first one, which I think is pretty cool. I'll just show you, I think. Okay, so you get the idea of that. That goes on for a little bit too long. I think that's a really kind of cool thing that definitely kind of useful for kind of getting interactivity with children, younger kind of projects going. This is also a really interesting sandbox idea for projection-based AR. So let me show you this one as well.
So this is our augmented reality sandbox. It was developed originally by researchers at UC Davis. We're going to be using it here at UCLA to help students learn about topography. So they can take a topographic map in the classroom, try to recreate the features by manipulating the sand. I can, take one mound, make it into two mounds. I can make it rain over the top of this, and I could see how the water flows down the sides of the hills, push that material up in here. That water wants to go somewhere else, and now it's going to float it through this channel into our reservoir below. So when the students are on the field and they don't have a sandbox to recreate what they have on the map, they can recreate in their head. They can build a mental model and identify where they're at, identify certain features in the area.
So I think that's so cool, and I really want to have a go at that at some point in the future. How much fun would it be to create something? And there's loads of different examples. There's one in Disneyland, America, I think, that I saw kind of online. So yeah, there's so much fun you can do with projection-based AR, and your world is your oyster, really. So let's show you a few examples now. So thinking about what skills and academic framework you would need to kind of start a career in augmented reality. So there's kind of 3 different areas I would suggest. You've got the technical skills, you've got the creative and design skills, and also soft skills as well that you will need. However, saying that, if you're very creative and you don't have the technical skills, that's fine, because there are apps which will help you to do that. If you're technical and you aren't creative as much, it's all about kind of collaboration. I would suggest, especially kind of the bigger augmented reality kind of experiences. There will be kind of niche kind of job roles and skill requirements for working. So let's look at these in a little bit more detail. So if you were more on a technical kind of side, you would be looking at programming languages, Unity, in fact, all kind of AR development would kind of need an understanding of languages. You've also got AR, VR development tools as well, so familiar with things like Unity, Unreal Engine, as well as the AR specific software development kits, such as the AR kit and the AR core, which all help to kind of get the augmented reality experience working on Android or Apple kind of operating systems. And then 3D modeling and animation, it kind of is technical, but it's also creative. So this kind of blurs between the technical and the creative. But if you know Maya or Blender or another, I would suggest Easy is probably the most sought after out of the 3D modeling and animation for creating assets. But there are other software out there as well. And in terms of creative and design skills, obviously you need to understand user experience design and also user interface design. So how to users use experiences, what is a good experience, what is not a good experience. So you need to understand all those principles. And then looking at things like graphic design, you want the user to engage with the experience, so you need to make sure that it looks good. It's got strong kind of design skills there, so probably looking at things like Photoshop, Illustrator to be up to kind of a good level for creating 2D elements, and the textures as well. In terms of the 3D, you would need textures. And finally, creative, you need storytelling. You need creative storytelling. You need to kind of come up with kind of really creative ideas of augmented reality to engage people in and to get them intrigued to want to actually have a go at your AR experience. So strong storytelling, narrative kind of skills are good. And content creation generally, depending on what the experience is, you might want 2D animation, you might want motion graphics, the more creative skills you have, I think the more flexible and adaptable you'll be in terms of the career in this field. And finally, the soft skills, because even if you're really creative, but that's it, or you're really technical, then you may struggle if you don't have problem-solving skills. And the nature of augmented reality is there will be some issues sooner or later somewhere along the line. So it's good that you're able to troubleshoot and problem solve. And as I said previously, you're likely to be collaborating with people rather than just working on your own, especially on larger experiences. Obviously, I do smaller experiences and I use some tools which help me. But if you're going for a career and in a larger company with AR, then you will need to collaborate with people and have good, strong communication skills. And adaptability, really, because obviously AR is such a fast-moving area that it evolves all the time. So being adaptable and learning continuously is kind of a really good skill to have. So I'm just going to show you a couple of entry-level apps that I use with my students. Let me just find, there it is. Okay, so the first one, I'm not going to go into it because it's better actually on your phone, but there's the Adobe's Aero, which is Very good. Let me get this to full screen, so hopefully you can see that okay. So let me just show this video quickly. I think this is probably the better way. A great thing about Aero is that they've got such a stock of 3D animations, 3D models that you can use. So it's really kind of a great experience to just kind of have a play around with AR, and you don't need that many skills really to jump into it. You can just have a play. It's good fun. ZatWorks is one which I'm just going to show this one very briefly as well. So this one we use more because you have more scope of doing different sorts of experiences. They have 3 different kind of ways you could do it. There's a real beginner level called widgets, and then there's a middle level called designer, and then there's a kind of a level which is more like consistent with Unity called Studio, and you can use create lots of different things with that. And I think I'm just going to show you very quickly. I thought you might be interested to have a look what's actually inside the ZatWorks. And I'm going to show you actually how easy and how quick it can be to create a project in ZatWorks. So this is ZatWorks, and I'm just going to create a new project. And you can see here that there's different ways of using a project. So I'm just going to open this up quickly. And this is the QR code, which my experience will have. So you can download that PNG SVG. I'm just going to call it a test project. It's quite helpful to name things as you get. And when I open Designer, it's going to ask me a few things to get started. So if you're just designing content for a headset, you would choose this one. For a mobile device, then you would choose this one. And this is kind of generally what I'm using at the moment, but hopefully moving on. And then would it be world tracking or image tracking or face tracking? So for this example, I'll do image tracking. So that is the first one there with the marker. So click on there. World tracking, you would put more kind of 3D elements into it. This is more for 2D elements. And then you click on start creating. So all you need to do is you need to upload a target image, which I've already prepared. It could be a flat image or it could be curved. So if you were creating an AI experience for a bottle of wine, for example, you would click on this one, but this one's just for my postcard. So I'm just going to recreate the squirrel that I showed you earlier on in the presentation. So this is my image file here, very badly named, but it does what it says. It's A6, so you have to have them quite small. Images, you wouldn't be able to upload an A3 image here, for example. A6 is perfect. So click on confirm, and then once it's uploaded, it will show up here. So it shouldn't take too long. It only takes a few seconds normally. There we go. Okay, so this is my image that I want to link a video to. So you see all these over here. So you could add buttons, you could add text, you could add an image, you could add 3D applets. But today, I'm just going to quickly show you the image. I'll change it from 2D to 3D to 2D because we're just going to keep it simple. I would find the video. So this is the video which is already uploaded for speed, and then you can just pop the the video onto the area that you want. So I just want to put it here. And that's what we do. Then you click on publish, and then that's it. If you you've already tried the experience, so you don't need to. But once it finishes publishing, that's it. If you scan that QR code, it will launch the experience. But because it's a marker AR, you will need to point it at the image for it to work. So I thought I managed to squeeze a quick demonstration in, so that's great. Just move that back up there. So finally, the last little thing about career opportunities and what sort of careers you might go into, or kind of what job roles you might have. You may be an AR developer or engineer, so that's someone who's more involved with the coding and the implementation of the AR apps, so the programming and that sort of thing, and have a clear kind of idea of apps like Unity and Unreal, or UX or UI design of AR, so that's more kind of the ensure that digital elements are seamlessly integrated into the user's physical environment and that the experience is user-friendly, and also kind of working through kind of the concepts and that sort of thing to kind of create the experiences in the first place. And then you would have 3D artists, 3D designers, because a lot of the AR experiences do involve 3D models, 3D environments, 3D animations, that sort of thing. And content creator. So as I said previously, you could have 2D animation, you could have 3D animation, you could have motion graphics, you could have photographs, you could have photospheres. There's so much you could do with AR that the more skills, creative skills that you have when you graduate, the more well placed you will be to kind of enter the industry. Okay, so to just quickly recap, this is what we kind of covered today. So we had a look at what AR is, and then we had a quick history of the kind of the key pinnacles of AR history. We had to look at the 3 types of AR, the markered, the markerless, and the projected. We had to look at some examples, thought about some of the skills and academic foundations you need, looked at a couple of apps very quickly. I'm aware of time, so I could have spent a little longer on that. And we had a quick look at career opportunities. So that's presentation. I shall stop talking now. If anybody's got any questions, I should find you again because I'm not. There you are. Yeah, that's me. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and thank you for listening.
Yeah, Joe, that was an excellent session.
Thank you very much.
And Joe, the thing is, I'm trying to, I'm straight away gonna try this Fluid app, which you have just demonstrated in one of the slides. Do you know if that is available over, is that, will it work over here as well, or it's just UK?
It's not just UK.
Yeah.
I don't know 100%.
Right. Okay. I'll check it out. And that Augment platform which you mentioned, that was also wonderful. That was really informative. And the projection-based AR, that was, the highlight of the session. If I personally, so
me
that,
too. I really want to have that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's the one thing which I also haven't tried as of now, because all other this marker the QR code and then image based things, we have kind of into that, like we have an experience on that, but this projection thing, I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, thanks a lot for that. Yeah. So guys, anybody else, any questions you can ask?
Joe, hi, this is Radhika here. Am I audible?
Hi, Radhika. Yes, I can hear
Hi,
you.
Joe. Thank you so much for a brief but a very succinct presentation. My question is that, because of the cost involved, as of now, it's not inexpensive. How far, can we really integrate the teaching of, because the AR sets themselves, the MetaQuest, you said they're about what, 300, 400 pounds?
MetaQuest is probably about 600, I would say. But to be honest, I would say as long as you do things which you can just use a mobile device for, all the protected ones, that doesn't need their headsets, then it's a lot cheaper and it's a lot more accessible. But you've also got those Google glasses or the other glasses as well. There's lots of different kind of price ranges, but I think if you keep it to a mobile device, then it's accessible to everybody.
But is it really possible to kind of, like we teach other subjects where the cost of these kind of assets is not so much? Is it possible to really teach in a class of 30? In India, we have classes of 50 or 60 people. How do you do that pedagogically? How do you train or teach people or to
Okay,
explore
well, with
this?
as I said, we use we have Adobe licenses for our students, so but I do think that Adobe Air is actually free anyway. So that could be something to look into. But ZapWorks Studio as well, there is a base cost for us to use it as an educator, but for a student seat, it's only £2 a year, I think, £2 or £3 a year. So it is not that expensive to use something like that. Alternatively, if you wanted to go a little bit, we use ZapWorks because it's very entry level, and it's as I showed in the demonstration, it's really easy for students to combine their creative assets together to create an augmented reality experience. But you could also look at using Unity, which is, I believe, is free to for educational establishments to teach, but it's a little bit more difficult. It's a higher. Yeah, it's still doable, and it's still very much teachable, and it depends what level the students are coming in at as to what you would want, I think.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. That's really helpful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question.
Joe, as we discussed, once we start our course and all, we have got this extended reality BBA course, which Asomsaf is going to offer. So, we really look forward to you to, maybe come down or, maybe some online sessions, frequently. So that is kind of, my request on behalf of Asomsaf. So we will be like, in touch more frequently, I guess.
Fantastic. That'd be lovely. I would love to work with you and see you guys. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also our 22nd, on 22nd, we are doing the session on animation, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, same time. Yeah. Yes.
Right. Okay. So guys, we are having Joe once again on 22nd for another presentation or, another session on animation. So if there is no other questions, maybe we could wind up the session, everyone.
Thank you ever so much, everybody, for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Really lovely.
And thank you for inviting me, Kamal.
Bye. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye.